In this video, I'll be reviewing the Sony WH-1000X M2 noise cancelling wireless Bluetooth over-the-ear headphones from Sony. Now, before I do my review of these headphones, I just wanted to say that this video is going to be a very long video, so get ready for a quite long video. Now, this pair from Sony will run $350, but the good news is a lot of the time, especially this pair, will go on sale less than $350. So if you look around, you can get this less than the suggested retail price of $350. Now, these headphones come in two different colorways. They come in this colorway I have right here, which is pretty much just your standard generic black, and then if you want to stand out a little bit more, they do have a gold kind of champagne color as well. Those are the only two colors of these headphones. Now, these are the second generation of this actual noise canceling headphone from Sony, so be careful when you're trying to buy these. Make sure you buy the WH-1000X M2 if you're trying to get the latest from Sony. So these are going to be the latest noise cancelling headphones from Sony, because the other ones that they made prior to this look exactly the same, and I just want to make sure you guys know that this is the second generation of this product. So again, the model number is WH-1000X M2, so make sure you get that model instead of the other model if you're trying to get the latest and greatest from Sony. Now I'm pretty much going to show you what comes in the box and what you get when you actually buy these headphones. So right off the gate, you do get a case for your headphones, and here's the case right here. It is a very hard case. It's not that hard, so you definitely want to be careful and don't throw this too hard or anything like that. But if you're just throwing this into your bag and whatnot, you should be okay, and your headphones should be protected. I like the fact that Sony does give you a hard shell case with these headphones. They don't give you like a little baggie. I know a lot of headphone companies think it's a good idea to give you a little nylon baggie where you just stuff your headphones in, but when you're paying prices of like $300 and above, I really do appreciate Sony giving you a much more harder case. I don't know if you can hear that on camera, but it is fairly hard. I don't want to hit it too hard, but it's very nice. It will protect your headphones from getting scratched or getting dust all over it and debris. So overall, kudos to Sony for giving us a very nice case with our expensive headphones. Now, moving on to the back of the headphones, you do get a pouch where you can put some of the accessories or some of the cords Sony does give you in the box. And here's the cords Sony gives you in the box. One of the cables is a 3.5 millimeter to 3.5 millimeter headphone cable, and although these are wireless Bluetooth headphones, it is nice when the battery dies, you will be able to actually still listen to your music, and they do include a free cable in the box. And honestly, I must say this cable is pretty premium. It does have that gold plating on both of the ends, and this is a generic standard cable. It's not like some of the other companies out there, hint Bose, where they like to give you 2.5 to 3.5. So if this cable were to ever snap on you, you can get this replaced pretty much anywhere. So I'm glad they went with a pretty much a generic 3.5 millimeter phono cable. So very nice for Sony, and this cable is fairly long and it's fairly thick, so it should hold up over time. But there's the cable you do get in the box. The next cable you do get in the box, as well as you do get a charging cable. Here's the charging cable right here. This is a micro USB cable, and that's one problem I have with these headphones. Is it a deal breaker? No, of course not. It's not a deal breaker, but it does kind of suck that Sony decided to give us a micro USB cable to charge these things. You would think in 2017, 2018 by now they would be on USB Type-C, but nope, they're not on USB Type-C. So it does kind of suck if you have an Android device that does have USB Type-C to charge, and you are going to have to use micro USB. It just means that you will have to bring an extra cable around with you if you're going to charge these headphones. Again, not really too much of a deal breaker, but I just wanted to point that out. It does charge via micro USB, which is kind of outdated by now. And then second of all, I do have another problem. The cord they give you in the box is a very short micro USB cable. Here's how short the micro USB cable, and for me it was a little bit too short, but most likely you have a micro USB cable laying around and you can buy one very inexpensive anyway, so it's not really a deal breaker. And it's cool the fact that Sony even decided to give you a charging cable in the box, because of course, let's be honest, some companies out there don't want to supply charging cables in the box with some of their products, so it is nice that Sony decided to throw in some type of micro USB cable. They didn't really have to, but there's that. And let's go ahead and open up the headphones right now. So here's what the actual headphones looks like. I did forget to mention this, but inside here it does actually have an airplane adapter. So you do get an airplane adapter in the box if you're actually trying to use these on an airplane. So that's nice also that they do give you a an airplane adapter in the box. Unfortunately, I can't take it out because I don't have really any fingernails, but it's in there. It's just the 2 prongs that you plug into an airplane. And here's what the actual headphones look like themselves. I'm going to go ahead and show them to you. So here's the headphones right now. As far as I can feel from the materials and everything like that, these are going to be, I think, plasticky, I think. But anyway, they do really feel like a solid pair of headphones. They don't feel like they're cheaply made. They don't feel bad or anything like that. They actually feel really bad. I guess one complaint in terms of the design, talking about the design of these headphones, I will have to admit they are a little bit on the much more bigger side when it comes to headphones. For some reason, Sony is always known for making some of the most biggest over-the-ear headphones. If you look at some of their other lines, you can see that some of their other over-the-ear headphones are kind of clunky and kind of chunky. So if you're looking for minimalistic design, these are kind of big on the head compared to other brands out there. That's one downside to Sony. Don't know why that is. Maybe there's a lot of electronics in here that has to power this bad boy or whatnot, but I just wanted to throw that out there really quickly. And of course, like you've seen, these do fold in and out, and they do swivel around, so you can actually fold them up when you're traveling, which is nice. And again, here's what the headphones look like. Moving around the cup, on the left cup, you can see right down there, it does have the micro USB charging port. That's where you're actually going to charge this headphone up. Excuse me, that's on the right side. And then if you go over to the left side, you do got some more stuff. You have the input. That's where you plug in your 3.5 millimeter cable to play this if your battery ever dies. And then you have the power on and off switch right there. And once you boot this up, it does actually have LED lights that will light up right here. And then you do got the noise canceling ambient button right there to turn off and on the noise canceling and turn on ambient noise and everything like that. So there's really only 2 buttons on here. And then the way you control your music on this headset is if you go to the right cup right here, everything is going to be motion sensitive. So on the right cup, you want to swipe up and down to change your music, to change the volume and everything like that. So everything's going to be done on the right cup. There's no physical controls when it comes to playback of your music. So if you want to control your music, you do have to use the touchpad right here when it comes to your music. In my experience, it is slightly finicky. I'm not going to lie and try to say it's perfect. It's not perfect, but from what I've tested, it's pretty flawlessly. Most of the time, I don't really have problems when it comes to these swiping gestures. Would I wish Sony would have put in physical buttons on this headset to control your music? Yes, I kind of wish they would have, just because those would have been much more better off, and it would guarantee that every time you touch them, it would pretty much change everything. But so far, I've had no problems with them. I know a lot of people are wondering how gimmicky it is or whatnot for a touchpad, but honestly, I've had really no problems. It does tend to act up once in a blue moon, but it's really not that bad for me, so it's not really a downside. Now let's talk about some other stuff about the comfort of these and the actual the pads. The pads are very nice. I don't know if you can see this on camera. One complaint I have about this headset is the fact that, as you may or may not see on camera, these really do tend to get a lot of sweat on them, unfortunately. So if you're exercising and whatnot, I highly wouldn't recommend even getting these pair. I would look for another pair, because that's the problem with these headphones. They really do get sweaty after a while, and you can see a lot of junk on my pads, unfortunately. After I wear these for about an hour or two, I want to say my head does start getting sweaty in these, which is absolutely a downside. It's not really that big a deal. It just means that after I take off my headphones, there's going to be a lot of grease and a lot of sweat stains on them. The only thing you can do about that is going to be the fact that you're just going to have to wipe down these headphones, unfortunately, which does kind of suck. Again, it will vary from person to person depending on who you are. It doesn't necessarily mean that you'll get sweaty in these and you will start getting sweat around them, but I just wanted to say that, at least for me, they got very sweaty and they started to the pad started to get sweat all over them very fast, only after about an hour or two of listening, which does kind of suck, but oh well, what can you do? Now let's talk about how they feel on the actual head. When I put these on my head, I do notice them on my head, I'm not gonna lie, but what I can say is after listening to them for about 5 hours, they're not uncomfortable at all. You do start to feel them, and in my case, they do start to get slightly, when I mean slightly uncomfortable, where I have to like kind of readjust them at like the 4 to 5 hour mark. But other than that, they're not that uncomfortable, and I'm really nitpicking there, but I just want to make this clear. These aren't 100% the most comfortable headphones you probably ever used on the market. You will start feeling them. It also depends on if you're wearing glasses, if you're not wearing glasses. I wear glasses, so that may take into a fact that at the 4 to 5 hour mark, I have to take these off and give my head some breathing room and then put them back on, and I'm good to go. But I can listen to these for a very long time, and I really don't have much problem when it comes to comfort of these headphones compared to other ones I've used in the past. Some of them are just ungodly to use, but these ones aren't too hard on your head and whatnot, and these are fairly light. I'm not going to say they're the lightest on the market, but from what I'm using, you do start to feel them after a while, so I just want to make that 100% clear. So they're not uncomfortable to use, but I do have to readjust them at, like, let's say the 4 to 5 hour mark. But once I re-put them back on and whatnot, then I'm good to go. And also it does depend on how I put them on when I first initially put them on for my listening session. If I put them on in such a way, sometimes I don't have to readjust them at the 4 to 5 hour mark. So it kind of doesn't make sense to you guys, but I'm just trying to be as real as possible. So that's how it really goes. But overall, really solid in the comfort department. Not the most comfortable headphones probably on the market, but trust me, they're very comfortable, and they're not nothing you want to take off. So don't worry about that. These are very comfortable to wear. They are pretty lightweight and whatnot, so don't worry about that. Now let's talk about the features of these headphones, because these headphones have a lot of features on the actual headphones itself. What features am I talking about? Well, as you guys know, of course, these are noise canceling headphones from Sony. So as to be expected, they're going to have noise canceling. But what else do you get besides noise canceling with these headphones? Well, you do get a lot of other features that some other headphones on the market don't give you. Like, for instance, these pair of headphones actually give you ambient noise. So it's pretty much another way to actually cancel out certain sounds. So for instance, maybe you want to cancel out big noises in the background, but you don't want to cancel out people's voices. Then you can turn it into ambient noise, and that's what ambient noise allows you to do. It allows you to pretty much listen to people's voices and then still drown out other sounds around you, which is very nice. So that's what ambient noise does. So that's very nice to give you that alongside standard noise canceling. On top of that, you do have a feature on this headphone which I thought is absolutely a brilliant idea from Sony. One of the features is if you have this phone on and you take your right hand and you cup it over the right ear cup, it will turn off the noise canceling, and it will mute, or it will pretty much dim the music in the background, so you can still hear everything around you. So if someone comes up to you and they want to talk to you without having to turn off your music or mute your music or take off the headphones, you just cup the right ear cup and it turns the volume of your music way down to where it's in the background, and it turns off noise canceling, and then you can talk to somebody really quickly. And then once you uncup your right hand from the right ear cup, then it starts playing your music again and turns back on the noise canceling, which I thought was an absolutely brilliant idea. The one downside to that is it does take a slight second to actually activate, so it's not going to be quick. So if someone starts talking to you right away, you're not going to be able to hear them right away because there is like a 1 second delay. And when you put your right hand over the right ear cup, it will beep at you so that you know that you activated that feature. When I first used that feature, I thought it was kind of trippy, because the thing about that feature is it does sound really weird when you actually put your hand over the right ear cup when you've had noise canceling on and you've had the music playing, and it is kind of trippy, I'm not gonna lie. After you use it, you do get used to the feeling, but it does feel weird and everything like that when you use that feature when you put your hand over the right ear cup. The other thing nice about this headphones is they do it is supposed to track your surroundings, which is pretty nice when it comes to noise canceling headphones. What am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about the fact that on these headphones specifically, if you go to the application that these have, because these do have a corresponding app, here's what the corresponding app looks like for these headphones really quickly. There's a whole bunch of different features. There's nothing too major in the app that's supposed to work with these, but I would definitely highly recommend downloading this app so you can play around and see what's in the app included for your smartphone. It works for iOS and it works for Android. Unfortunately, the app made for these do not work on a PC or a Mac, so you are going to be limited to mobile only when it comes to that. So there's that. But one feature I was talking about is the fact that if you go to the app, it will actually scan your head, believe it or not, and it'll detect glasses, what type of hair you have, the shape of your face, and then it's supposed to be able to it's pretty much supposed to base the noise canceling around around your figure, which is very, very cool. I tried that feature, and in my opinion, I didn't really notice the difference between the standard noise canceling and the whole tracking your face and whatnot. I didn't really see that. They also have another mode in the app where it's supposed to detect if you're like running, walking, sitting, and it's supposed to track that, and it uses your gyroscope, I think, in your phone, or the gyroscope in the headphones, and it's supposed to detect what type of what you're doing, what type of movement you're doing. I tried that as well, and in my opinion, I didn't really feel like it did much to my experience. It didn't change the noise canceling at all. So I don't know. You can go ahead if you get these headphones, and you can play around with those different features that Sony has made for these headphones and see if they make a difference or not make a difference. I also love the fact on these headphones, like I said at the beginning of the video, or early on in the video, that the fact that it does have a button on the side, so you don't have to go into the app if you want to turn off noise canceling or if you want to turn on ambient sound. Again, ambient sound is when you hear people's voices but you don't hear other things in the background, which is absolutely a very nice touch from Sony. I just love the fact that you're not going into the application every time to change the type of noise canceling you get on these headphones itself, which is such a very good idea. Now let's actually talk about the noise canceling itself, because that's probably the one reason you're gonna buy these headphones. You're gonna buy them for the noise canceling over anything else. You want to be able to drown out the world, and you want to be able to listen to your music, and you want to escape from the world. That's why you buy noise canceling, right? Well, let's talk about noise canceling. In my opinion, I think the noise canceling on these headphones are phenomenal. Yes, that's right. I said phenomenal because I think it's much more better word than just saying it's good or excellent. I actually think it's phenomenal. Is it the best noise canceling headphones on the market? That is subjective. Always going to be subjective. But for these pairs alone, the Sony WH-1000X M2, I think they're a phenomenal pair when it comes to noise canceling. Now, if you never use noise canceling, I want to make this clear. You may end up feeling a weird, like, airplane cabin type feeling when you first use these. Now, it will vary from person to person, to be honest. So I had that feeling for a while, but it went away and I got used to it, so it wasn't a big deal. But you may end up feeling that. It doesn't mean that the headphones are busted or anything like that. It just means that you have to get used to the way it cancels out noise, so you may feel that. It's kind of like also the same feeling you would get if you're like going up in high altitude, like in the mountains, where sometimes your ears start to pop and they start to compress and everything like that. So you probably know what that feeling is. So that's what you get. Again, it will vary from person to person. Now, when it comes to the actual noise canceling of these headphones, it's not going to block out every single noise. I want to make that clear. I don't think with any noise canceling headphones you're going to get 100% noise canceling. It's not going to cancel every single thing. I know for a factor, since I've been using these now for about a week and a half, and that's plenty long to determine because I use these about 5 to 6 hours a day. I'm a hardcore audio listener, and I must say that some noises, for instance, like dogs, it doesn't cancel out dogs at all. And I've looked this up on the internet, and a lot of people say it doesn't cancel out like certain noises. So it's not my headphones being busted, it's just the fact that noise canceling, no matter what pair you get on the market, won't cancel out everything. There's even some noises that it will mute. I want to make that clear, mute, but you can still hear them in the background. Like, for instance, when I was listening to these like 2 days ago, there was a loud lawnmower about 3 or 4 houses down from me, and when I put these on, it pretty much muffled the sound enough enough to where you couldn't even hear the lawnmower. But if you were paying attention, you can hear the lawnmower slightly off in the distance. It felt like the lawnmower was off in the distance lawnmowing. It didn't really feel like it was completely shut out. I want to make that clear, because some people are buying these headphones and thinking, well, I want to buy these, and then when they buy them, they try them and they're disappointed at the noise canceling. It's supposed to pretty much just mute stuff or make stuff less loud than what its original sound is. But for me, that is enough, and I actually do enjoy the noise cancellation from these headphones. Honestly, if you've never used a pair of noise canceling headphones, I highly suggest using a pair of noise canceling headphones. I think noise canceling is absolutely a game changer. There is a lot of times where you wish you would have had noise canceling headphones, and you wish you would have taken yourself out of the real world. You want to escape from the real world and things like that. So I highly would suggest it. Just don't expect it to be 100% noise canceling. The good news is, even when it doesn't cancel out certain noises, it cancels them out enough to where you can enjoy your music. That's what's wrong with a lot of normal headphones. When you put on your headphones, you can't enjoy the music that you're listening to, just because the music that you're listening to is being bothered by outside noises. But it does a phenomenal job of that. I just want to make that clear. One place this does excel at when it comes to noise canceling is car engine noise. I was actually on the road I was actually in a car on the road, and it muffled pretty much the noise of the engine, and that is impressive, considering most of the time when you listen to music in a car, you can't hear anything because the engine noise is so loud. That's one really nice thing. It pretty much muted it enough to where I can listen to my music, and I was pretty much blown away by how much it muted the car engine when I was going down the road. Now, I did try these actually on the actual not highway, but on the street where a lot of busy cars were going down, and when I tried that, I must say it was a very good experience. Unfortunately, depending on what car and depending on if it's a motorcycle or it's a car and whatnot, you can still hear cars, but it's muffled enough to where you can pretty much listen to your music and not be bothered by the cars going down the street, which I thought was A-okay. So if you're looking for noise canceling specifically, these do a phenomenal job. I'm just restating what I stated before. Don't expect it to cancel out every single noise, and even the noises that cancel out, it's not going to be 100% noise canceling. But Watt headphones are 100% noise canceling. There's so many noises out there, different noise frequencies and whatnot, so it's really hard to tell. One thing these headphones do also, that you can make calls on these headphones, and I have tried calling somebody on these headphones, and they said they can hear me pretty well, but unfortunately in my testing, they kind of said it did feel like a Bluetooth headset when I was calling people. And when I was outside testing these out, I gotta be honest, they said they heard background noise, they heard like the wind blowing, and they heard cars going by, unfortunately. So I wouldn't say, in my opinion, these are the best phones to use if you're trying to use them for phone calls. You can use them for phone calls, but I wouldn't say they're really amazing for phone calls. There's probably better options out there if you're looking for a Bluetooth headset to make phone calls with. But it is nice they give you the option to actually allow these headphones to be Bluetooth headphones that make calls as well, because most likely you're going to want to connect. Most likely you're using these headphones on your smartphone, so it is nice that you'll be able to make calls, even if they're not the greatest calls, in my opinion, in my scenario. So there's that. Now let's pretty much, I think I covered everything else. Now let's talk about the sound quality, because again, of course, with $350 headphones, you want to know how they sound. And right off the bat, I'm making this clear, I am not an audiophile, so I can't comment on the audio compared to like other stuff on the market. I know for a fact that these aren't the best headphones on the market when it comes to sound. There's probably other better options, let's be honest. And if you didn't know one thing, I do know for a fact that these are closed back headphones. They're not open back, and open back will always give you the better sound. But you're not buying these for like the most amazing sound on the market. You're buying these because of the noise canceling aspect. And when it comes to noise canceling and you pair these up with the actual music, the sound of these, in my opinion, making that clear again, my opinion, they sound amazing. Yes, they sound amazing. And I have used a lot of different high-end headphones in the past. I've used Beats, I've used Bose, I've used Sennheiser, So I've used a couple of different high-end audiophiles. I've even used V-Moda, if you know what V-Moda is. And I must say, at least in my experience compared to a lot of other stuff I've personally used, I think these are one of the best headphones I've used in quite some time. I even think they're better than a lot of the Beats, a lot of the Bose. I know that's a really bold statement to say that they're better than these Bose, these Beats. I will say I like the sound coming out of these much more better than I like the sound coming out of any of the Beats headphones. I'm not trying to hate on Beats or anything like that. I don't want to make it sound like I'm bashing Beats, because I have owned Beats in the past, but for me, I just don't like the sound signature of the Beats. I really enjoy the sound signature coming out of these headphones. I think it's a very clean, clear, crisp audio, and I love the fact that I think it's not too much bass or it's not too little bass. That's a lot of the problems with a lot of these headphones. Some of them try to tend to go too much bass or not enough bass, and it ruins the experience. But in my experience, in my opinion, making that clear again, I think it's the right amount of bass on these, because that's one problem I also had with the Bose headphones. I have had Bose headphones in the past, and I have had a lot of experience with them, and I must say a lot of the Bose headphones don't give me enough bass, in my opinion. Now again, of course, with sound, it's always subjective, so everybody's going to have their own sound signature that they personally prefer. So sound is always going to be subjective, even if you say these are the best headphones. From like a technical standpoint, it's always going to be subjective to the person, because someone may love more bass than another person. Someone may love more treble, more whatever. They may love all these different things. So what I recommend is going down to a store, or if you know somebody that owns these, try these for yourself. And you really need to try these with your own music, not the music that they have playing in store, because the music they have playing in store most likely is not the music that you're going to be listening to, if that makes sense. I know it's better than nothing, but really you have to listen to your own music and make a judgment for yourself. Also, it does also, of course, depend on what type of audio your player is playing. Is it playing MP3 format? Is it playing FLAC format? Is it playing compressed audio, uncompressed audio? Are you streaming it from like a streaming service? All these different things take into account how the sound's going to sound. So you really have to try these on your own equipment with your own music to really get the feel of the sound on this pair of headphones. But overall, I personally like the sound that is coming out of these headphones. I can't say enough how enjoyable the sound experience is on these headphones. And I've tried a lot of different genres of music when it comes to these. I've tried country, even though I'm not a big country fan, to be honest. I did try country because I wanted to get as much of a feel for as many different genres as I could possibly get. I tried rock, I tried pop, I tried country, I tried classical, I tried classic rock, I've tried EDM, I've tried rap, I've tried hip hop, I've tried R&B, I've tried jazz. I've pretty much tried as much as I possibly can, and from what I'm saying is these are flat out amazing when it comes to sound. Also, I know a lot of the times when it comes to noise canceling headphones, the company likes to focus on the noise canceling aspect of them more than the actual sound of the headphone, but I really think Sony did a phenomenal job when it comes to the sound on these. I think they just blew it out the water, and I am really impressed. I know that's a big statement coming from a person that's not really an audiophile, so take it as it is, but I am blown away. Honestly, I think this is the best $350 I've ever spent on headphones, because I spent a lot of money on headphones before, but I'm absolutely loving these headphones. These are the headphones I'm pretty much going to continue to use on a day-to-day basis, and I highly recommend you go out there and try these headphones for yourself. I think all the reviews out there say that these are amazing, and I have to agree with almost everybody out there who say these headphones are great value. They're an 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. I wouldn't say they're perfect. They're definitely not perfect. Now let's go ahead and talk about the actual battery life, because you want to know the battery, because what's the point of these headphones if your battery dies? Now Sony claims you can get 30 hours of listening on these headphones. They don't really state at what volumes are they listening to their music. I listen to these at about 40 to 50% volume up on these headphones, and I gotta say, right now I'm not even out of battery. I think you can probably get somewhere in the 20 to like 27 hours from what I'm hearing around the internet and from my testing. I've gotten these about 2 weeks ago, and I must say I have not ran out of battery yet. So that's a testament of how how good the battery is on these headphones. Honestly, I think these might be the best battery life of any noise canceling headphones on the market. The battery is phenomenal. If you're going on a very long trip, or even if you're going on an airplane, you're going to be able to go miles and miles and miles without having to charge these. The nice thing about these headphones is it does have a quick charging option. You charge these for 10 minutes and then you get 70 minutes of playback, which is very nice. So it does have a rapid charge built on. And one thing about these headphones is it takes about 4 hours to actually charge these from like a totally dead battery to a full battery. So it's not the quickest thing in the world, but it's not the shortest thing in the world as well. But also you do have to remember it does have quick charging, like I just mentioned. 10 minutes gives you 70 minutes of audio. I forgot to mention when I was talking about the whole noise cancellation of this. Apparently, I can't say this because obviously I haven't been on an airplane. If you don't know this yet, I haven't been on an airplane in quite some time. But apparently, if you go on an airplane with these headphones, it's supposed to change the frequency of the noise canceling and something with your music to where you can actually it sounds better on an airplane. They pretty much said there's something wrong with airplane frequencies that mess with noise canceling and mess with audio. But apparently Sony in this headset has put some features built on, so when you're listening to these in an airplane, it's supposed to be engineered around an airplane. So there's that. But pretty much just finishing up everything I wanted to say in this video. I highly recommend these headphones. I can't recommend these headphones enough. I think they're worth every penny of $350, and especially since these headphones go on sale a lot, you can get them around $300, maybe $270 or something, depending on when they go on sale, and they're definitely worth the money. I have to mention some other stuff before I head out. If you're trying to be as honest as possible with you guys, that's why this video is so long. I know a lot of people's complaints. I can't remember if it was this specific one or the previous generation before this, but I know they complained a lot about the build of this, how the headbands kept cracking. And in my experience, I haven't seen any wear and tear. Of course, I haven't done a stress test, and I'm not going to do a stress test on this. I'm just going to be honest, because I do have OCD and I am paranoid about my electronics. I try to take care of my electronics best as possible, so years down the road it'll look like pretty much the same quality I got it when I first unboxed it. So I can't really demonstrate what kind of quality these have, but if you go to I think Jimmy's review on YouTube, Jim's review room or something like that, he did do a stress test on this, and he said he didn't see any cracking or anything like that, but he did mention that on one of these models he did end up getting a crack in the headband, and some other people have mentioned they did get a crack in their headbands. I don't know if Sony fixed that quality control, but I took a chance anyway, and so far it's holding up. But really telling you guys that it's holding up for me doesn't count, because I always baby my stuff to death, and I'm really so OCD about it. None of my stuff is going to be in bad trash condition, so there's no way that I'm not really the person to go to when it comes to testing out like the durability of stuff, because I'm OCD and I baby my stuff to death. So that's not really saying too much, to be honest, but I just wanted to throw that out there if you're thinking about buying these headphones. If you're still really worried about the build quality of these headphones, what you could do is you could actually get the protection plan for these. I know in the box 100% Sony does give you a 1-year limited warranty. Just make sure you have your receipt, because you do need your receipt and you do need the original packaging it came in when you ship these things back to Sony if something goes haywire. So just get an extended warranty from like wherever you're buying them. You're buying from like Walmart, Target, Fry's Electronics, Best Buy, wherever you're buying these, Amazon. Make sure you get a protection plan if you're quite worried about the band actually going haywire on you. But overall, like I said before, I don't regret buying these headphones at the price I got them to. I gotta be honest, I did get these on sale, but even so, they were still very expensive, and I don't regret my purchase, and I'm so glad I ended up buying these headphones. I love these headphones, and they're just so nice, so good to use. Anyway, guys, that's the review on the Sony WH-1000X M2 noise canceling headphones from Sony over the ear. Anyway, guys, this is Wayne from My Tech News, signing out.